Talking with you all afternoon. It's Simon Barnett and James Daniels Afternoons. Newstalk ZB.
7 minutes past 2. Very good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us. Now, maybe you're not the age where you're considering going into retirement home. Maybe, though, your parents might be, or your grandparents might be. Or maybe you are the age where you're going in. So they reckon that more than 80,000 people will live in retirement villages by 2033. That's only 9 years away. But
it's actually lower than I thought. I thought there'd be more than that. But anyway, because you see a lot of retirement villages around.
You do see them around for sure. But the question's been asked, is there adequate consumer protection for those people, retirees and the elderly, going to these villages? And so pretty much the Retirement Villages Residents Association say they don't have adequate protections. And the 20-year-old law isn't fit for purpose. And they say this, and it's important because a lot of people won't know the detail. And to be honest, I wasn't completely aware of all of it either until I read this story. But when people buy into a retirement village, they purchase an occupational rights agreement. That's the ORA. Remember that. Occupational rights agreement. You buy that when you're going to a village. That gives you the right to live in the unit or the village. And when you leave or upon your death, that is the village or the estate, gets back the capital that you've paid minus the management fee from the retirement village. But operators, and here's the conundrum, operators are allowed to hold on to the money interest-free, and they continue charging you fees until they on-sell the ORA to the next person that wants to go in. And also another issue is the practice of charging residents for the cost of repairing and maintaining chattels. And they make the point, and it's a very good point. They say, imagine a landlord requiring a tenant to fix a hot water cylinder, and because there is no outside power to turn to, sometimes residents need to complain to the same person that's causing their problem.
Because if you're living in the retirement village and you've signed the ORA, you haven't actually bought the chattels, you've just bought the occupational right, the right to occupy that place.
The right to occupy.
You don't own it. And so they're saying that the owner should pay for the maintenance and so on.
It's 20-year-old legislation, and the Residents Association are saying it's got to be changed. So they're looking at doing a review, and we're asking the question, is there a need for it? Because clearly they serve a purpose and a very good purpose, and you hear some wonderful stories about people that have gone into these villages and they love them. But James, you've been looking for a friend, and that sounds like one of those euphemisms, I'm looking for a friend, but you genuinely have been looking for a friend, and your dear mother from a few years ago.
Yeah, more directly, I had to deal with Mum when she was in her latter stages of her life and had to deal with the Retirement Village Association people.
Was it good?
It was actually okay. Now, the thing that I thought about with that is that you just need to read the agreement, understand it, and get legal advice if necessary.
So that's critical what you just said. Read it and understand it.
Yep.
But you also tagged it with get legal advice, because what the Residents Association is saying, it is so complicated. A lot of people just don't have the understanding. I've seen some of it. It's wordy, to say the least.
Yep.
And they don't have the financial capabilities to go and get legal advice often as well, James.
Well, if you're going to pay for an ORA...
How much is an ORA?
Well, it depends on the type of accommodation that you're buying into or getting the rights to occupy.
Do you remember what your mum's was?
Well, it can be anything from, say, $200,000 to a really bougie one would be $1 million, right? It can be. Well, it depends how big it is. It might be a studio. It might be an apartment. It might be a villa.
Now, that's not full-time care. That's just a...
This is just living.
Wow. And then do you pay a fee on top of that?
Well, all of them are quite, they're quite different. Not all. It's not one size fits all.
Right.
But generally you would, you certainly would have to pay for any services on top of the occupational right agreement. But, it's pretty clear in there. If you don't agree with it, well, you don't sign it. That's my view on this.
Yes, although that's, again, to use the Residents Association argument, they say, and I quote, just as you did, people say residents just don't sign up to these contracts, but there is often no choice, they say. Contracts are very complicated, very confusing, and this is a sector of society that we should be protecting, not exploiting.
Yeah, but it's there in black and white. What the obligation is of the operator, what the obligation is of the person occupying that dwelling, and so
I don't know.
What's the problem?
Well, it's hellishly expensive, it seems to me. There's a text here. I don't reckon this is...
That's a red herring. It is expensive depending on what your financial situation is.
But if there's not a lot of choice, though, James, this text here says, 1 million, James, that's cheap. Try 1.5 or 2 million in Auckland for the ORA.
Yep.
And do you have to pay fees on top of that?
Well, no, you pay the capital, you pay the fee initially, and then they have deferred management fees quite often.
But do you have to pay? So you've paid your ORA, so you've got the right to occupy.
$1 million, whatever.
And then do you have to pay, there's a suggestion here that you then have to pay $100 a night for laundering,
Yeah, well, if you buy in other services, you would have to.
Crikey. I hope I don't get old.
It's not cheap getting old.
My goodness. 0800 80 10 80. Is the Retirement Villages Residents Association, are they correct? There needs to be a review because this doesn't stack up. I think they make some really good points, particularly around having to maintain your own chattels if you don't own them.
Yeah. Yeah, well, but then again, it must be in the agreement. Don't sign it.
Well, but James, what if there is no choice? What if all of the ORAs have that they have to maintain?
Yeah. Yeah,
well,
that's
what do they
the way
do?
it is.
No, but
what are you going to complain about the price?
Yes,
the cost of the ORA?
No, don't complain about the price. But I'm taking from what I'm looking at on text and talking to you that every ORA has that stipulation that basically if you occupy and something breaks down, you have to fix it. Like, could be curtains, it could be carpet, and you have to fix it, but you don't own it.
I can see the issue up front. Like if you have to fund it, that could be a problem. But
change that then.
Don't worry, you would have to pay for that at the end of the agreement anyway, because there are deferred management fees and there'll be fees for this, that, and the other thing, including fixing the hot water cylinder.
Yeah, well, I think that needs to change. If they own the blimmin' chattels, then you pay for the chattels.
They pay for it. Yeah,
they pay for it. Just a bloody gravy train.
Well, as I say, it'll be in the agreement in black and white.
So that's I'm on the Residents Association.
Well, don't sign it then.
You got no choice. You're making me cross. I hope you get to use one and use all your money.
No,
14 past.
I'm going to live with my kids.
14 past 2. Do they need this review? I'm hot now. Newstalk ZB.
At First Mortgage Trust, you can talk to a real human about your investment. Give them a call. First Mortgage Managers Limited is the issuer. For the PDSs, visit fmt.co.nz.
Cruise without crowds, explore new cultures with ease, and sail in intimate settings with Avalon Waterways and Hello World Travel. Europe 2025 voyages on sale now. Choose from bucket list river cruises, including Christmas time in Alsace and Germany, 4 nights from $3,731 per person, or Magnificent Europe's 14-night cruise from just $9,593. Visit helloworld.co.nz or call 0800 260 260 to book your Avalon River Cruise today.
Gentlemen, is your bedroom mojo missing in action? Caruso's Male Mojo is a herbal formula for men that supports a healthy libido, stamina and sexual function. And because stress can drag your mojo down, Caruso's Male Mojo also supports a healthy stress response. So, if you'd like to keep sparks flying in the bedroom, try Caruso's Male Mojo. It comes with a 100% money-back guarantee and is available from Chemist Warehouse. Read the label and use as directed. Caruso's Health Sydney.
At ITM, we call a nail gun, and subbies by their nicknames. And we know it's great to start a big week with a stack of screws, but you'll be screwed if the frames aren't on site when you need them. At ITM, we speak builder. ITM.
Don't spend an hour cleaning your shower. Do it in a minute with Donna Future.
Might pile up laundry, stone a flash, have liquid laundromats.
Do you enjoy outdoor adventures? Nothing beats the fun of hiking, hunting, fishing, skiing or camping. Whatever your adventure, Liquid Laundromat's commercial machines can handle most gear, including sleeping bags. Just make sure you check labels for washing directions first. Liquid Laundromat, saving you time and money for those adventures. Visit liquidlaundromats.com to find your nearest location.
Get inside the game with Rugby Direct.
This week on Rugby Direct, we're in Wellington as we count down to the All Blacks' first test of the Rugby Championship against Argentina. We ask what's next for the women's and men's 7 sides in wake of 1 gold medal and 1 quarter-final exit, and we count down to provincial rugby.
Rugby Direct. Listen now on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts. Powered by Newstalk ZB.
2:17, loads of calls and texts pouring in on this. Does the review into retirement villages need to happen? The Residents Association say it's 20 years old, something's got to change. A couple of quick texts. Hi guys, my mum paid a deposit on one retirement village, $3.6 million for her ORA. But she pulled out in the end as she was going to lose $2 million, it worked out, after her stay. But I have to say the weekly charge was $15 only for maintenance, which was good, but her loss was too great. Holy smokes.
See, they knew that because they read the agreement.
Yep, and good on them. And luckily they've got good advice and they were able to do that, James. For heaven's sake, Simon, if you don't like it, find somewhere else to live. It's as simple as that. Well, no, it's not, because a lot of people can't find somewhere else to live. And they don't have the actual financial backing to support going into one of those places.
That's when the government steps in, though.
Yeah, but they basically let you get down to, what, 220 grand, and then they step in?
Yeah.
So everything you've worked for in your whole life's gone. Hi, Alistair.
Good afternoon, strangers. How are you?
Good, mate. Nice to hear from you.
Likewise. Right.
What's your story?
Oh, these guys, I tell you, at least Dick Turpin wore a mask. These guys, they're all the bloody same. I'm sorry. They're just robbers, absolute robbers. My mother was, she lived in Auckland. I'm not going to give you names of the homes and all the rest because they're all the same. I don't care.
Yeah.
She had to go into a unit when she was 99 years old. And she stayed in the, well, we bought a unit, so I had to sell a house in Howick, get her into this place and sign all the paperwork. But it's a stressful time, so you don't really, you just sign it, right?
Yeah.
She's bought the apartment for $390,000 for a one-bedroom ensuite with a little lounge. And she gets 24-hour care. The care, what the care is, they come round 3 times a day with a paracetamol. That's it. And then she pays $200 a week for her food and laundry and all the rest of the garbage.
Yeah.
The one thing that annoys me in this country, and I don't know if it happens anywhere else, when my mother passed last October and she was 103, so she had a very, very good innings.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Everybody was happy that she's gone because she wanted to go. She's enough.
Yeah.
When we came to sell this apartment, they take their cut out of it, their percentage of the last 3 years,
yeah,
of the purchase price, not the market price, which is the purchase price. And I'm thinking, hang on, that was 3.5 years ago when you sold it for $380. You're now selling the same unit for $560. So you're clipping the ticket from me because it's at the purchase price, and then you're going to clip it on the next person because it's the market price. Honestly, you're just a bunch of robbers.
Excellent point. That's a great point.
It's ridiculous. Why can't it be the market price? Good God, they earn enough money as it is. Oh, I'm getting riled.
Hey, Alistair, did you read the agreement? Is that what it said they would do in the agreement?
To be honest, it possibly did. But at a stressful time, when you've taken your mother from 3 different hospitals, and now she's been told she needs 24-hour care, and we went to one place and they said, oh, there's a room for her. Then, oh, we can't take her because we don't do the 24-hour care. So I had to go and find somewhere else, and I did. But you don't really look at all this. That's my fault, but your mind's full of other stuff.
Absolutely. I think that's right. And if they changed the law, Alistair, and said to retirement villages, you've got to pay back upon the death, unfortunately, you've got to pay back the market price rather than the purchase price, then it's job done.
Here's another thing.
Yeah.
Here's another thing. So she's got some pictures on the wall that have got little picture hook holes.
Yep.
But they have to be, so the wall has to be replastered. Like, what? Replastered?
Yeah.
Yeah, replastered and painted on a new carpet. Why does it need a new carpet? She hardly walked.
Yeah.
And then your chattels is a microwave. You need a new microwave. Why? Well, that's what we do. We just replace new for new. She's never used that bloody thing. But you get charged for it. They just rob you blind, mate. Honestly, be very, very careful.
It's great to hear your story, Alistair, because it's very personal and obviously very accurate. So you are absolutely on the side of the Residents Association saying the law needs to be changed. Yeah.
No, it needs to be changed like yesterday.
Yep.
For the people that are coming up, even if they change that market price and the purchase price, that'll be a big difference. These people can afford it. They're making millions.
Yeah. Alistair, lovely to hear from you, mate. Really was, and thanks for passing your story on so passionately.
Have a good day. Thank you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Hey, you Jess.
Oh, yes. Hi. I agree with that man, everything he said. I've had a father that was in a retirement village, and he was treated really well. And he got new carpet and drapes, but my husband and I decided that we'd have a look around for a retirement village because most of them, there's a 5-year waiting list. And we thought, maybe, we don't have much in the way of family, that might be a good thing. We'd have support and caring, and we'd probably be okay for the rest of our lives with some help along the way if family wasn't able to help. And we started looking about probably 2 years ago. In this one particular village, they had a 3-bedroom place, which a lot of them are 70 years old to get into them. Some of them are 65. Only one that I know of is 65. But anyway, this particular village that we were looking at, they had the 3-bedroom standalone townhouse or townhouse for about $980,000. And we thought, well, that would be pretty good because our house is, worth a wee bit of money, and maybe we'd come out with $100,000 in our pocket, which we thought would be really good for our retirement. Anyway, last year before Christmas, so that's a year down the track, this lady rings me up and says, look, we've got a 2-bedroom place. Would you be interested in that? And I said, well, not really. We really wanted 3 for the extra room. But okay, we'll come and have a look at it. Really stunning, really nice. Anyway, she said, you might want to sit down when I tell you how much it is. And I said, well, how much is it? She said, $980,000. And I said, but a year ago, $980,000 would get a 3-bedroom with a garage. Oh, not now. And then so that was just before Christmas this year, just gone. And then I was speaking to a neighbour of mine who's in there at the moment. She's been there for about 4 or 5 years. They paid $640 for the same 2-bedroom type of place. And she said to me, those places like mine, a 2-bedroom place, are now $1.1 million. So in 6 months, that place has gone up, 2-bedroom place has gone up $100,000. And I'm damn sure my house hasn't gone up that much. And also, the 2-bedroom that we looked at the time, 2 years ago, I said to them, well, the drapes aren't really very nice. They honestly, and I'm not in the warehouse, but that's what they look like. They weren't lined or anything. They weren't particularly nice. And the carpet wasn't very good either. It really needed to be replaced. It was quite worn in places. But that was our expense.
That's crazy. Thank you, Jess, for your story. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. But then there is a different view. I'll read you this text as we go to the break. So, it says, this is quite facetious, so if I'm hearing this correctly, boomers who have lived in the most prosperous financial times in human history and have more wealth than any previous generation and all foreseeable generations are now complaining that the cost of their retirement living is too expensive, so they want the field tilted to their favour. Does that about sum it up?
And some of them can't read.
We should be protecting the elderly. Protecting them.
Is that because you're about to turn now?
I'm 57. It's hopefully a long way off, James. I feel for them. I feel like all these people calling up, it's just not fair. Change the law, at least modify some of these things. Clearly not everybody's rorting the system, but just what is the harm, James? Sorry, I should take
fair enough.
What is the harm in changing the ORA to some extent, so making... If somebody dies, that's so stressful for the family that they have to pay out in a more timely manner. My father-in-law, Fred, lovely man, when he died, it took forever to get the money out because they couldn't on-sell the ORA to the next person. So the family had to wait. Didn't affect me so much. But for the others that were desperate, they waited too long. Change that. That's one little thing.
Well, you want government to change that?
Yeah.
You want the law to be changed so that
to make retirement villages comply to that.
More regulation again. It's more regulation.
It's not more regulation, James. It's altering the current regulation. No, it's not adding to it. It's saying, okay, it's this now. Let's ditch that and put that in.
It's regulating the market. Someone might come along, a new retirement village operator could come along and do all these things that everyone's wanting, and then they'll all go there.
But why would they? There's no need to, because at the moment they know they can charge it. Everybody charges it. Why would they basically undercut themselves?
Which once again goes to the law of supply and demand. The market.
Well, there's plenty of demand, and they don't have any choice about that. They get old. We all get old. You are there. I'm on my way.
And there's bigger all supply that you want, that you can afford. There's the issue.
So change it. 227. Newstalk ZB.
You want to move it, you want to lift it. Central Group can show you how to shift it.
Central Group are your local dealers of Takeuchi excavators from 1 to 15 tonne, compact track loaders and crawler dumpers, with service packs to keep your gear running smoothly, shifting earth and building the future.
You want to move it, you want to lift it. Central Group can show you how to shift it now.
centralgroup.co.nz.
Right now at Audica Hearing Clinic, we'll double your Super Gold discount with 10% off our optimal and premium range of hearing aids, or 20% off if you bring a Super Gold friend along to your free hearing check. That could save you up to $2,000. Love your ears with double your Super Gold hearing aid discount at Audica. To find out more, visit audica.co.nz or call 0800 00 3880. Offer ends 30 September 2024 and not available with any other offer or discount.
Yes, I know. I'm about to tell them. Someone's very excited about Petstock's big news. That's right. Petstock has dropped the everyday prices of thousands of products store-wide. Lower prices are here to stay on dog and cat food, including your favourite Kiwi brands like Akana, Canine Natural, Ziwi Peak and Addiction. Plus, you'll now earn everyday rewards points too. Head in store or online at petstock.co.nz.
I can see some precious moments coming up, playing with the grandkids and settling down somewhere with a view. But I can't see myself enjoying it when my eyesight's fading. I just hope it's not too late. Auckland Eye. See what you've been missing with Auckland Eye. Find out which cataract surgery is right for you and the lifestyle you deserve. Want to see better? Better see Auckland Eye. Auckland Eye.
Worldwide on iHeartRadio. Simon Barnett and James Daniels Afternoons. Call 0800 80 1080 on Newstalk ZB.
This is ZB. It's 29 past 2. We're running a bit late, but we'll try and squeeze Lawrence in. G'day, mate.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good, thanks.
So I'm going through this with my mother right now.
Yeah.
And what everyone before me has said is absolutely true. The real consequences, there's 3 stages of the retirement village care. Your elderly mum goes into the retirement village, and what people are saying is right. When she needs to go to the next stage, they need to sell her another room, which is the one that's like like that other guy said, they get the Panadol. But you have to buy that, and you have to buy that at the current market rate. But of course, they're only giving you the 10-year-old market rate, and it's only 80% of that. So you can't actually afford to go to stage 2. And stage 3 is even dearer. So, I mean, you have nowhere to go.
So this is for your mum you're talking about?
Yeah, this is for my mum, yeah.
So what are you going to do?
To go into one. Sorry?
So what are you going to do?
Well, we've managed to talk her into staying to a unit for a couple more years, but hopefully she'll just go straight. Well, not hopefully, but we want her to be in the unit until she goes to stage 2. She missed out that whole retirement village thing, because that's the biggest one.
Yeah.
That'll be the biggest hit.
It's crazy, the money that people are charging, isn't it, Lawrence?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money, and it's, there's 600,000 now. The other guy was talking about 500, but in Auckland there's 600 grand. And, I don't know how much my mum would have left over from that, but to go to the next stage when she only gets 80% of, today's rate, if she lasted another 10 years in the village, then she can't actually afford to go to the next stage, which is when she needs it. She doesn't need it now. She just wants more company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lawrence, thank you very much for calling and sharing your story. Yeah. We'll take a quick break. There's so many texts on this, we can't keep up, but this one to the break says, hi, Simon and James. You are only going to get the moaners on now. How come there are huge waiting lists for good retirement villas?
Good text.
And people are happy and loving their retirement life.
Good text. Thank you. And all those people must have read their ORA, or there's another one, LTO, Licence to Occupy.
Right, we'll take a break and pick this up again. Newstalk ZB.
Newstalk ZB Auckland. Time saver traffic.
General Collective Lifestyle and Design Market this Sunday. Now, there's been a crash on Great North Road in New Lynn at the intersection with Nico Street. Do expect delays through there. Also delays on the southwestern northbound between Lambie and Puhinui, with a crash blocking the right-hand lane just after the Puhinui on-ramp. Heading southbound is moderate to heavy from Massey Road to Puhinui. Explore 100 local brands, homeware, fashion and artisan food this Sunday, Auckland Showgrounds. That's traffic.
After years of preparation for our Kiwi athletes, it's finally here. Paris 2024. Newstalk ZB is your home for the Olympic Games and brings you comprehensive coverage.
Win like a Kiwi!
The edge of your seat moments.
He's got the gold medal.
The analysis and reaction.
It's a big one.
And every Kiwi goal.
For New Zealand!
Live coverage throughout the Games. Right here on your home of sport. Official radio broadcast partner of the Olympic Games Paris 2024. Newstalk ZB.
1 in 3 New Zealanders will be affected by cancer in their lifetime, each one with their own story of hope and support. ANZ has been a proud partner of the Cancer Society for 34 years, and this month they're helping them to make every daffodil count in the lead up to Daffodil Day on Friday the 30th of August. Your donation supports vital research and care for Kiwis dealing with cancer. Every dollar and every daffodil counts. So let's unite behind Daffodil Day with ANZ. Text DONATE to 2442 to receive a link to donate today.
Leicester's Oil from About Health naturally supports joint, heart, brain health and more. It's backed by a study that showed an increase of omega-3 levels by 59% in 4 weeks. Buy Leicester's Oil from About Health. Phone 0800 999 309 or order online at abouthealth.co.nz. Always read the label and take as directed. Supplementary to and not a replacement for a balanced diet. About Health, now available at select Unichem and Life pharmacies. About Health Auckland.
Designwarehouse.co.nz. Create an outdoor area that brings family and friends together with outdoor furniture from Design Warehouse. Create new memories around outdoor tables and chairs. Relax around the pool on daybeds and sun lounges. Visit Design Warehouse in Parnell or shop online and get free delivery Auckland-wide.
Newstalk ZB headlines.
With Blue Bubble taxis, it's no trouble with the Blue Bubble. ACT says all political parties should condemn pellets being fired at the car of a New Plymouth councillor who's suggesting it was intimidation over the vote on Māori wards. New legislation lets councils vote again on Māori wards, with New Plymouth yesterday voting for retention, Kaipara today choosing to dump theirs. Air New Zealand's profit could be heading back to more normal levels post-COVID. A $500 million drop in profits is forecast for next year, on top of a pre-tax loss in the current 6 months. Serious concerns over high youth unemployment, with 15 to 24-year-olds making up more than 20% of those out of work. The unemployment rate jumped to 4.6% in the June quarter. That's up from 4.4% the quarter before. Auckland's OG Fibre Solutions says it's consulting with its 75 staff on a proposal to close its Penrose paper recycling pulp mill. Hemorrhaging way too much money. Duval investor worried after interim receivership. You can see more at NZ Herald Premium. Now back to Simon Barnett and James Daniels.
Thanks, Raylene. 25-3. Good discussion, robust discussion this about the Retirement Villages Residents Association. They're calling for a review into the sector. They want it to go before Parliament because they say there's a real need and that the elderly and those that require the services are actually being fleeced, and the legislation's 20 years old and needs to be looked at. I say amen to all of that. If nothing happens, that's fine. If they say and determine that it's fair and just, then fine. But do a review for sure. Here's where I have a problem, James. I don't see how you can defend this.
Yeah.
Guys, great chat. My parents paid $320,000 for a 2-bedroom unit 13 years ago.
Yeah.
I'll read this slowly so everybody can digest this.
Yeah.
My parents paid $320K for a 2-bedroom unit 13 years ago.
Yeah.
One parent was put into hospital care 5 years ago, which meant they lost the right to occupy because they now require care.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Then the second parent passed 3 years ago. We were paid back $286,000. So 13 years ago, they paid $320K for the unit. 13 years later, they paid back $286,000 following refurbishment costs.
Yeah.
The retirement village then on-sold the unit, the ORA, for $668,000.
Yeah.
The lawyer described the agreement as a legal scam. But I do agree with you, James, on this count, says the texter. You need to read the contract and get good advice.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that last bit because that's my whole point. Yep, it looks unfair and it doesn't look right. It sort of smells a wee bit, but that's what it said and that's what they did.
But this is the bit that I don't understand, James. I'm genuinely not trying to be intransigent here. Like, if it's changed and every single retirement village gets the new legislation, they say you can't do that. When you on-sell the ORA or pay back the people that have had it for 13 years, you've got to pay the market price, not the price they purchased at.
Yeah,
that alone would make a substantial difference to all the elderly and their families.
Well, that's what it's really about. It's about the people who are worried about their inheritance being eaten away. That's a lot of what it's about, because often you're dealing with estates. But anyway,
can I just say to that, though, one thing, personal story, my father-in-law.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's about the beneficiaries of the...
In a lot of cases, they're the ones that are worried about it.
And that could well be true, but I know my beautiful father-in-law, Fred, he was so anxious as he watched his life savings just go down, 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 down. He was absolutely anxious to the point of not being able to sleep because he was worried that some of his kids weren't doing that well and he wanted to provide for them. So it's not just the beneficiaries, the actual parents oh my gosh.
They'll be aware of it.
They want to help.
But that's what they signed up to when they went in. And I'm not being rude. I don't mean to be rude to anyone about this, but, read what you're signing and live with it.
But if everybody's the same, though, James, if everybody is kind of protected by the current legislation and they can do whatever they like, you can't go anywhere else.
They're not protected by the current legislation.
Well, it hasn't changed in 20 years.
The operators, no, they're protected by the agreements that they wrote and that these people signed.
Yep.
And they took legal advice and even that last text said...
Okay, but if they haven't had that changed for 20 years, then that needs to change so that every retirement village is bound by the same new legislation which says you have to pay the market price, not the purchase price. That's one little thing.
These are businesses. That's what these things are. They're not charities.
No,
they're businesses.
I get that.
If you don't want it, if you don't like the terms of the agreement, don't sign them.
Well, as they say,
find somewhere else to live.
And there often isn't. And so my point is, do you not think that even though they're businesses, and I get that they have a duty to actually look after the elderly and care for them? They can still make their profits, just not exorbitant profits, just not obscene profits.
They have to act in the best interests of the companies. That's the first thing.
Well,
and therefore the shareholders.
0800 80 1080. G'day, Cliff.
Yeah, good day there. I agree with some of the things they said. We purchased a retirement village in Christchurch for about $395 about 12 years ago. We signed up the ORA and realised we were only getting about 70% of the purchase price at the time, which is fine. We signed that and we go along. It's just that when we get paid out, it quite often happens in our village that you didn't, the people who get the money won't get it for over 12 months.
Exactly. That's another thing
that's the main argument or disagreement I've got with.
Yep. And that's a good point, Cliff, and that's one of the things the Residents Association also want changed, that the retirement villages, they have to pay out in a much more timely fashion rather than at the moment.
Yes. You can't expect to be paid the current price but if you even got back your full amount that you paid. Would be okay. But it's this waiting for, I say, over 12 months to get your money back.
No, good on you, Cliff. Can I ask, so just before you go, Cliff, so you paid $400K for it now, when you bought it, which was 10 years ago. It's now worth $900K, so they will pay you on the purchase price, so you'll lose hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Theoretically, yes.
Theoretically. But also, do you pay a fee on top of that every week?
Oh, every month we pay a fee. I call it a rent or a fee, whatever you want to call it. Yes.
And how much is that, do you mind us asking?
No, it's about $750 a month.
Wow.
It's not bad, because you don't get rent, power and that. You have to pay your power and any other expenses. But
and if your chattels get damaged, Cliff, who has to pay for that? If your curtains got damaged, would you have to fix them, put new ones in?
Yep. Yeah, we've got contents insurance because we thought, oh gosh, if something goes wrong, we're stuck.
Yeah. Cliff, lovely to talk to you. Thanks very much for calling.
You're welcome.
Go
Bye.
well. Bye. What a nice man.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah. Hello, Cheryl.
Oh, hi. Well, I am pleased to say that not all villages are the same, and none of the things that have been said over the last half hour apply to the village or the other villages in the group that I am with. And as soon as our family clear our chattels out and the keys are handed in, the fees stop. My fees are just not quite 60% of what it costs me to live independently. So if you live long enough, you recover a lot of that deferred management fee, which is 20% over 5 years. In my particular group, we have like fees have certainly risen, especially since COVID in recent times, but I wholeheartedly support the Retirement Village Residents Association. They need to drag up the other operators to the same standard. There are some newer groups who are paying back the full capital, and so I suspect people have not been consulting well enough informed and lawyers to know what they're actually signing up to. I feel very sorry for them, but they cannot blame the operators. That was what was set up 20 years ago. It does need renewing, but not all operators are the same. I only have to have an oven light go out. I ring the receptionist or I pop down and put it in the register. Someone comes within half a day to put a new light bulb in.
Oh, that's good. Good on you, Cheryl. That's a nice story. So, sorry, again, just for personal details, but do you mind saying how much you paid for your occupational right?
Pay based on $110 a week. So it's just on $5,000 a year.
That's not too bad. And how much did you pay to get into it?
And it's fixed for life.
Right, okay, fixed for life. That's good.
So I only get to pay more if I move into hospital care, if I was to have a stroke, or into the rest home or the dementia unit.
Well, let's hope you don't have to go there, Cheryl. How much did you pay to get to buy your unit or to buy the occupational right?
It's a nice, roomy, 3-bedroom one. It was $680,000 6 years ago.
6 years ago, okay.
And I've already probably in the savings I've made through not we have gym classes provided 5 days a week. We have beautiful outings into the countryside. We have provided happy hours. We have ladies' nights and beautiful suppers.
Oh, gee, I might move in. What's
What's our fees? So I suspect people need to do their homework and that all this moaning stops.
Okay. What's the food like?
Fantastic. We have fine dining once a month at the gourmet meals. They have just gone up. Your wine's provided, 3 gourmet courses, and better in the posh restaurants in our city.
Good on you, Cheryl. Well, lovely to talk. Where are you living? Just the city. You don't. That's all we need to say.
Just in Northland.
In Northland. Nice. Lovely.
The group is countrywide. It didn't start here.
Right.
And there are other ones that, as I say, have started up more recently that provide some of the capital, some share the capital gain.
Great. Cheryl, we're going to have to run, but thank you very much. Lovely to talk to you.
Lovely to hear from Cheryl because she did what I was saying earlier. She read what she was reading, or she read the agreement and signed up for it. Now, look, a lot of people are getting stuck into me saying, you're a hard man, Jake. And the thing is that I would like these other bits to be added into these agreements, but at the moment, they're not. You know, it would be good to have to get your market value back, but that's not what you signed up to. And the other thing is that there are a number of operators, and I'm not defending operators, don't get me wrong.
Sounds like it.
No, I'm not. Hey, this is just a fact.
Doesn't your mate own one, though?
He's a shareholder.
Got him.
No, I'm not defending him at all. He doesn't need me. But the thing is that a lot of these... you smart ass. The thing is, though, that... I'd love those terms to be in those contracts, but they're not right now. Okay. And, that's what I was going to say. One of the operators, and it's not my mates, hang on, listen. One of the operators has fixed their fees from when you went in there. So some people have been in for 10 years and their monthly fee hasn't gone up in 10 years.
Good.
And it's one of the really well-known operators.
Yeah, well, that's good. Great.
Because mine's a little tin pot one.
Yeah, no, that's good. Wipe your chin, mate. You're dribbling. It's 13 minutes away from 3. This text of the break. For once, I agree with James. It's a business. They're not in business to be compassionate and caring, Simon. Their ads on TV peeve me off as they portray that they care and everyone's living a wonderful life. Go and actually look at the places for a reality check, but good on them. They're there to make money for their shareholders. James is right. 13-3.
Newstalk ZB Auckland community notices with stressless recliners from Danske Mobile Furniture. Stressless made in Norway sale on now.
If you have a community group, sports team, charity or school that's planning a fundraising event, an open day or a reunion, I could be telling Auckland's biggest radio audience all about it right here on Newstalk ZB's free community notice board. Go to newstalkzb.co.nz/community and submit your notice now.
Caring for our community. Newstalk ZB and Danske Mobile Furniture.
At JMI Wealth, we work to grow our clients' wealth with investment portfolios that stand the test of time. Hi, I'm Andrew Callagher, JMI Wealth Director. For more than 30 years, we focused on building generational wealth, allowing our clients to pass on the nest eggs they've worked so hard to create. So if you want to secure your lifestyle and provide for the next generation, talk to us about getting the most from your money. Call us or visit jmiwealth.co.nz. JMI Wealth, investing for generations.
Hi, Stephen Hunt from Ian Hunt Flooring. The Feltex Godfrey Hirst nationwide flooring sale is on now. And the best place to get the best deal is right here at Ian Hunt Flooring, Albany and Mount Wellington.
Ian Hunt Flooring. Design Warehouse.co.nz.
Create an outdoor area that brings family and friends together with outdoor furniture from Design Warehouse. Create new memories around outdoor tables and chairs. Relax around the pool on daybeds and sun lounges. Visit Design Warehouse in Parnell or shop online and get free delivery Auckland-wide.
Designwarehouse.co.nz. Smith & Smith Repair.
Did you know that rain repellent improves driver visibility by more than 30%? Right now, you can get a free rain repellent treatment with your windscreen replacement at selected Smith & Smith Auckland branches. Book now, T's and C's apply.
Smith & Smith Replace.
Good, hi, hello. Look, I'd like to return this, please. Yeah, it's got holes in it.
Certainly. When did you buy it?
2003.
Running a business can be challenging, but together with Westpac, managing cash flow doesn't have to be. With the Business Transact account, you can have greater visibility and control over your cash flow. Westpac, together greater. Terms and conditions, fees and eligibility criteria apply. For further details, visit westpac.co.nz/business.
With you as your afternoon rolls on. Simon Barnett and James Daniels Afternoons. Newstalk ZB.
10-3. Does James support obscene profits by supermarkets to 2, says the texter?
Are you looking at my friends list on Facebook, are you?
Hello, Annette.
Yes, hi.
Hi. Where do you stand on this? Do you think that they do need to look at this legislation that's 20 years old and make some changes?
I think definitely that the legislation needs to be reviewed. The reason being that piece of legislation is 20 years old, and my understanding is it was written by the operators way back then with little or no consultation from people living in villages, and the contracts, I know they vary all across New Zealand, but the contracts advantage the operators financially and in other ways. They disadvantage people who live in these villages. And I was listening to one of your speakers earlier who said people should stop moaning. I don't believe it's a question of moaning. It's a question of having to have some fairness and some rights, because when you come into a village like this, I look at three sort of areas. One is inquiring about coming here, looking into all the aspects of the costs and everything, and then signing an ORA. So that's the entrance, if you like, to a village, making that decision. The second process is actually living in the village. And the third process is exiting the village. There's a long-held assumption in New Zealand that all people who are elderly are very well off.
Yeah.
Well, that is just not true. And I know that from the work that I've done over the last 40 years.
Yep.
So I feel very sad when I hear people talking negatively about the elder population.
What about the people, Annette, that have called in saying they're really super satisfied, their village is fantastic? There's clearly some really good operators, but clearly some that aren't so savoury.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm saying I don't believe the majority of people who live in villages are unhappy. They obviously aren't. But it's to do with the contracting. It's to do with payback of capital, the capital that people have put in. Now, for an example, where I live, there's no rest home. So if people get sick, they're unable to care for themselves anymore. Their choice is either family make other arrangements or they're going into a rest home.
Yeah.
So they're going to need their capital pretty soon.
Annette, thank you very much for calling in. I've got to go to a break, but we really appreciate your thoughts and your fairness. Thank you. It's 8 to 3, Newstalk ZB.
In Paidata Rise, everything you could want is practically at your door, surrounded by the sights and sounds of the country, yet in a vibrant, thriving, growing community. It has public transport. The train station is underway, with more and more amenities opening around you by the day. They've built your future, just 5 minutes from Pukekohe. This will be how you want to live. Head to paidatarise.co.nz. Paidata Rise feels like home.
Now you can shop for wine anytime at Vine Online. We're celebrating our birthday with loads of great deals on all your favourite wine, beer and spirits. Stoney Classic Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc, $14.99. Baby Doll Chardonnay, $14.99. Leafield Station Sauvignon Blanc, $15.99. Plus, sign up to our newsletter and get a discount off your first order. T's and C's and some exclusions may apply. Shop these and many more delicious drops in our birthday sale. On now at vineonline.co.nz.
We live in a world of wonders, and right now you can discover more for less with Wendywoo Tours 2025 early bird discounts. Take flight on a fully inclusive adventure to one of Wendywoo Tours' worldwide destinations. See the sunrise over Mount Fuji in Japan or cruise the majestic Yangtze in China. The possibilities for your next adventure are plentiful, with savings of up to $1,000 per person. New brochures out now. Visit wendywootours.co.nz or see your local travel agent. T's and C's apply.
Your pressure is gone and your cylinder's cold. Well, you just might find that it's getting old. See the cylinderguide.co.nz. You want to move a new one from here to there, but you need someone who really cares. See the cylinderguide.co.nz. For all hot water cylinders supplied and installed, see the Cylinder Guy, cylinderguide.co.nz. You see the cylinderguide.co.nz.
A Tiger Turf artificial lawn stays lush and green looking all year round. Never needs mowing, never needs watering. And if you're DIY handy, the expert Tiger Turf team can give you all the advice to put it in yourself. For more, visit tigerturf.com.
It's time to try the exceptional comfort of a stressless recliner at the Made in Norway sale on now. Save up to $1,000. Stressless luxury recliners made in Norway. Exclusive to Danske Møbler Furniture.
Newstalk ZB, 5 to 3. Hi, Graham.
Hi, just quickly, I'll go make it real quick. Brought the unit for two, $390,000 for my mother-in-law, lived there 10 years, absolutely happy. Knew we're losing 30% depreciation. She got sick really quickly and had to go into a hospital unit. So we had to relinquish the unit and buy the hospital room for $250,000.
Right.
Of the next 28 days, she spent 16 days in hospital. And when she died, we then had to pay a further 15% on the $250,000 plus $200 a day. So out of the $390 she put into it, by the time they'd finished taking their take, got about $210 back. She loved the apartment side, but when she went to hospital care, you've got to sell one, and then they take 15% off a one-bedroom hospital bed in the first year. It's just criminal.
Wow. Well summed up, because that's exactly what we're talking about. So are you going to the Ombudsman about that particular case?
Damn right I am.
Right.
I've got a meeting coming up with Tama Poltaka.
Well, good luck with that. All power to you, Graham, because that just does not sound right to me. That's horrible.
The clause of plus they took an extra 2.5% to sell the other unit, and that's on page 19, clause 14.2, hidden.
And how long did it take to get the money back?
5 months and 28 days, because at 6 months they had to pay interest.
Yeah, and that's one of the things the Residents Association are complaining about. Hey, Graham, really well said. Thank you. You're a good caller to finish.
Yeah.
Watch this space, and we'll see whether the Residents Association do get the review they've called for. I think it's needed. James, maybe not so much.
Oh, no, it'd be good.
Good chat.
But read the agreement.